How are you all today? Who's on the call?
Heidi is here.
Hi, Heidi.
Kim is here.
Who's here?
Heidi's friend, Kim.
Oh, hi, Kim.
And Stacy's here.
Hi, Stacy. And I believe I see Pablo here on the Google Plus with me online. Is anyone else online, or is everyone dialed in?
Dialed in. I'm about to try to get online right now, though.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. I know we're a little bit behind time, and I just wanted to, first of all, welcome you guys for this really, really incredible cleanse group that we're doing on 12/12/12, and it's now 12:07 p.m. that we're all starting together. And I think just to jump right in, I know that the last call that we had, we did a lot of preparation. You guys have received info packets in your inboxes with information on how to start your cleanse, how to prepare your kitchens, and what foods and recipes to buy. Is that correct? Does everyone have all of their preparation information on what herbs they're going to be taking? And I believe everyone has their herbs up until this point, except possibly Kim, who's new to the group.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so the thing that I wanted to work with today is for us to really group and collectively set our intentions for the cleanse process. Just giving a little recap, again, we're in a HO2 Cleanse program, which I lead every month, and it's a 3-day, 5-day, or 9-day cleanse process that incorporates diet, herbs, and yoga. And so everyone here on this day, we're starting our herbs together. We're starting a alkaline vegan diet together. Some are doing it for 3 days. Some are going through 9 days into 12/21/2012, which is winter solstice as well. So in preparation for this journey, capitalizing on this sort of energy bubble that we're in right now, I'd love for us to verbally express some of the things that, maybe even just one thing or two things that we'd like to, accomplish by doing this cleanse, and two, just our sort of statement or affirmation moving into this new cycle. So I know for myself, I'll just start out and then anyone else can jump in. I actually posted this today on my Facebook page, and what my intention is for this new cycle is to stand in truth and to live in love and to, I can't even remember it, to stand in truth, to live in love, and there was something else really cool in there. But those are the ones that are coming to my mind right now. But that was my cycle. That was my proclamation for this cycle. Is there anybody else that wants to express something?
I would. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. As I was shopping last night for the preparation for this, and I got to the cash register, and the total came up. I was happy that I was able to take care of it, but the thing that I got out of it was that I'm really, really happy that I am starting to care about myself enough to where I can spending money like I spent last night to prepare myself for this. It validated my value to me personally, and so that is like kind of where I'm at on my own personal quest. I just want to start treating myself better so I can set a better example for how I would like other people to treat me. But really, I just want to just make sure that I'm in alignment all the way, like on all the points of valuing myself, in my personal relationships, in my business relationships, by doing the things that I know I'm put here to do, and by eating healthy, and, so that I don't mind wasn't as simply put as yours, but that's pretty much what I would say that I would like to get out of this. Is just like, a confirmation on valuing myself, because, when you take care of yourself, that's the best thing you can do for yourself, is take care of yourself. You can have lots of money, but not really have that good of health.
Yes. I love it. I love it, Heidi, because as you're saying, when you take care of yourself and you're valuing yourself in that way, then that's the first step in having others to treat you in that way, because you're treating yourself that way. Internally, you're processing things in that way. So everything that you're going to see is going to mirror that. And I think that's an awesome approach to looking at this, because from the inside out, you're working physically to release the toxins, emotionally to release some of the blockages, and spiritually to find more balance through the yoga. And so I think it's fantastic. And I just want to jump in and add Pablo, who is also part of our cleanse group, is in my group chat window. So some of you, if you're trying to get online and for some reason the Google Hangouts isn't coming through as smooth, he's jumped in on my chat window. So she's chatted me his intention, which he says is to renew my energy, take command of my health. So that in itself says it all. I think it's to me like the summary of this whole program is renewing your energy and taking command of your health, because you're taking charge of your lifestyle choices, your diet choices, what you're putting into your body, the environment that you have around you, the people that you have around you. And this is what makes this more of a lifestyle cleanse than anything else. So thank you, Pablo, for jumping in. I love people that are like finding ways to get into the group, because I know, like I said, with technology, we have all these little blurbs, and I just appreciate people finding the ways to make it happen, whether it be on the phone or video, or we even have chat windows. So anyone else want to share?
I will. This is Kim. Basically, I kind of want to improve on what I've already been doing. And I want to continue to be consistent. And sometimes it's hard to be consistent when you don't have a connection with other people on a regular basis who are trying to do the same thing you're doing.
Right.
I am the only person in my whole entire family who is, first of all, a vegetarian, trying to get to the point of being a vegan, but it's really hard. That's hard to see. That's my only hang-up is cheese. Other than that, I mean, I've been doing this for almost 4 years, and nobody else has joined me. Not one person in my family. So when I started even doing green smoothies, it's like a joke. Don't understand. People don't understand how you can drink this stuff, how you can, do raw vegetables and stuff like that. So I am so glad that I don't know, I think I saw this on Heidi's page one day or something, and I was like, oh my God, there's other people trying to do this too. Let me call in on this call and see what's going on.
Yes, I'm so glad you found us. Yes, there's a whole bunch of other weirdos out there. And well, I'm jokingly calling us weirdos, but I think that you're the trailblazer is what you are. You're the example. And so all you can do is what you're doing, which is, setting that example for your family and your friends without pushing anything on anyone. My biggest thing with health is just to be comfortable in it for yourself. And when people are ready, they'll gravitate towards you for it. It's not about, trying to correct everyone else, with what we've learned. It's just about, being that example, which it sounds like you're doing. And this time, what's interesting is I had some students in my class a few nights ago share that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, for years and years and years, she had been doing these meditations and mantra practices and, always sort of the weirdo in the family. And she had a dinner, family dinner, and had a discussion around 12-12-12. And she said she couldn't believe how attentive and focused her family was on the things that she was saying about this. And so there's this sort of energy shift that's going on now where people are either not connected at all to what's going on, or they're really starving for more and really sort of like at this place where they're like, okay, life isn't working the way that I normally have been doing it. There's got to be another way. And so I think what you're going to find really quickly you're going to shift into the ambassador of health for your family and your friends. And so I think that, this group should be that space for these types of leaders, so that it's all, we're all feeding off of each other, so that you can then have so much value and so much input and such a command of your own health that there's no, you're automatically going to be a guide for others. So thank you, Kim, so much for sharing that. I think Pablo actually jumped in and typed in a little bit more input. And I just want to hear, too, where everyone's from. Kim, where are you from?
I'm from Cleveland. But I live in North Carolina now.
Okay, so you're joining us in the call from North Carolina. I want everyone to kind of get a sense of where we are, where all the members are calling in from. Pablo...
Downtown LA.
Heidi's from downtown LA, but originally from Cleveland, right, Heidi?
Yep, Cleveland.
Okay. And then Stacy, who's also on the call. Stacy, do you want to share where you're calling in from?
Yeah, I'm calling in from Venice, California, but I'm from the East Coast. I was from Maryland and spent most of my life in New York.
Okay, awesome. So we got some East Coast people in the house. And I know Pablo is joining us. He's here in Los Angeles, but he's a recent transplant from San Diego, I believe. So Pablo, you got to confirm there. No. He says San Francisco originally, living in LA now. Okay, somewhere else. I knew it was somewhere other than here.
Yeah, you had to stand right. You were on point with the stand part.
Yep. And so I know we also have, there's a few people that are just schedules not allowing them to be able to dial in or virtually join in for the call. But I know we have, as a part of our group, there's a male named Lord Ajmar who has joined the group from Atlanta. So we have, North Carolina. We have someone he's in not Atlanta, but Savannah, Georgia. He's joining from Savannah, Georgia. And then we have someone dialed in from the group from Encinitas, California. So there's a nice sort of spread of people. And what I'm hoping is that for those who are having to sort of play this call back and be a part of it in that way, or play the video back, what I'm hoping is that you'll all go to the HO2 Cleanse Facebook page, because I created a Facebook page as opposed to a membership page, because I wanted us to be able to go on the page and type in some of the things that we've shared here, like our intentions, type in questions, and really bring the experience of being in the group to life there, so that others can see what's going on. Others can not only see what we're doing in the group, but also sort of it's our testament to the world of where we're approaching. So for more personal things that you don't want to share with the rest of the world, you want to email me privately, and we can converse privately. No, but you literally, I know for me, I don't mind putting all that stuff up. Some of my friends joke with me about how detailed I get on my bowel movements on my vlogs, and they're like, that's a little bit too much information, Keya. But yeah, anything that's going to help others, in their process, I feel like if you can share it on that page, and especially if you're not able to join in on the calls, that's sort of your virtual extension to be able to be a part of the group, so we can, all sort of be supported by each other's journey, each other's questions, each other's triumphs, and each other's challenges. So again, I want to share this little bit. Pablo has said here, he says he thinks it's an awesome practice of being able to focus and accomplish a goal. This focus will allow me to accomplish my other ambitions in the short and long term. So again, I think this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Pablo has joined us. I co-lead a Tai Chi, Qigong, and yoga practice on Saturday mornings here at Culver City Park. And Pablo is a part of our group, learning from my boyfriend Tai Chi and Qigong. So it's a real variety, here that we have in the group. Stacy, did you want to share your intention or your affirmation for this cleanse?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I've been doing a lot of work like y'all have here, and it's
Yes.
So, yeah. So my intention is to, when you said what is my intention, with the page that came into my mind was I am that I am, and I just sums it up. It's a whole power, and the whole potential in the next couple of years, that fullness, make even more full in my I am presence.
I love it. I love it, Stacy. Stacy's been doing a lot of work as she was sharing on her spirit and really just unfolding, physically, spiritually, emotionally unfolding. And another thing that I'd like to use the HO2 Cleanse page for is a space for us to really know about our participants, because within the group, a lot of times we have Reiki healers, massage therapists, there's all types of light workers, I like to call us, and all of our gifts that we have to share with each other in this process. And I think it's helpful to know what everyone else has and what everyone else is doing. So Stacy, I would love if you could post some of your stuff on the page regarding your sound healing workshops that you have coming up, and just some of the intuitive work that you're doing and coaching that you're doing with individuals. She has just a lot to share, and I'd love for you to sort of let the group kind of make that announcement on the page so that people can use you as a resource through this process. No, it's not a closed group. It's actually a page, which if you check your Facebook, I believe I posted a link to it on your Facebook page. I believe it was yesterday. So check your page. There's a link for the HO2 Cleanse page. So it's not a closed group. You don't have to be a member. Anyone can like it. All you need to do is like the page. Yep. Yep, I don't know if I sent a group, but I may have created a group a few months ago with no one in it. A closed group. But this, for these purposes, we're using an actual page that you can like. So it's HO2 Cleanse is what the name of the page is. So check it out. You'll be able to find it probably pretty easily, I think, through my page. I should have all my pages listed under Keya. So yeah, but anyone else too? Heidi? Yes?
What is your blog? How do we get to you on the blog?
Oh, that's through hariatma.com, HARIATMA.com. If you go to my website, I'll actually have a link on the website. I'll probably put that up today so that you can have the link to all of my pages on Facebook. But on the website, there is a blog header. There's always, the most current blog is always streaming on the bottom of the page, as is the most current video. Is always streaming on the bottom of the page. Every week I put up a new video because every Monday we have a call that is tailored around the HO2 Cleanse. So that call, some weeks it's a call that's informational for people, and some weeks when we're not doing a cleanse, I'm just talking about helpful tips for your health. One of the things that I talked about on that blog was my secret formula for killing the cold bug. So I had a whole video and a write-up on that and my experiences with that and some of the products and practices that I encourage people to do when they're trying to detox themselves from a cold or flu bug. So I usually, every week there's some new activity popping up, and while we're doing this cleanse, because I'll be joining the HO2 Cleanse in a modified form this time around, I'm going to be blogging about yoga. So every day there will be some yoga tip to share that you can practice at home for about 20 minutes. So if you just go to the site, you'll always get, the most updated video streaming on the bottom of the page. You could also subscribe to my YouTube page, which is Keya, and that way it'll send you an email. If you decide, you sort of have the option to choose if you want to be emailed every time I upload a video, or you can choose not to have that happen if your inbox is overloaded with lots of stuff. And so hariatma.com, that's the place to go. There is a blog link on the top, if you get confused about where the blogs are. And there's a lot of stuff up there, a lot of good stuff. I try to keep those blogs posted on my Facebook pages as well. So just be sure to kind of plug in wherever it feels most comfortable for you, so you can be stay abreast on what's going on, and always have the information there. I wanted to share, Pablo actually had some really good questions earlier this week, and I told him I would bring them up here for the group because I thought they may be questions that everyone might be curious about. And if you all have questions as well, feel free to jump in and ask your questions for the group. And please don't be shy about it, about feeling like, oh, did she answer this already? Or, not feeling like your question, might not be a good question, because chances are somebody out there has the same question. So I really, really appreciate questions. So he emailed me about these 4 questions. First one is, can we be eating other fruits and vegetables not on the list? It's a very good question. Yes, you may eat organic fruits and vegetables, as much as you can consume. The foods on the list are going to be the most alkaline. There's some fruits that I've left off, specifically because they're a little more acidic. But because I'm not, and I know he's asking because he'll be traveling out of town, so he wants to be sure that he's not going off of, the cleanse with certain things. And what I always encourage is, because for some people, limiting the diet to fruits and vegetables is already a lot. And so I don't want to make this an exercise, sort of pull out your hair, tear out your hair exercise, where, you're out with friends, or you're out at a restaurant, or you're somewhere, and you got to be so specific about which vegetable it is you can have. I think sometimes that just really kills the joy of cleansing, when it can be that nitpicky. So what I recommend is just to stay with organic fruits and vegetables. As much as you can, consume more of the fruits and vegetables from the list. But if you find yourself having, say, a banana or having a peach, which can be, peaches can be a little bit more acidic. That's the reason why I don't have them on the cleanse. And bananas can sometimes, if you overconsume them, be a little bit heavy, in the digestion. They're very easily digested, but they can sort of sit, and kind of, clog. Like when you think of, if you had diarrhea, one of the best things for you to eat when you have diarrhea is a banana, because it sort of like clogs you a little bit. So, so it's, again, I'm throwing this out there, but please, if you're somewhere and they have bananas, don't not eat because you're afraid that, the banana is going to hurt you. Having little bits off the list, I think in balance is fine. But in your food choices, in what you're shopping, if you can try to stick to the list. And if for some reason you're at a grocery where they're not, they don't have the fruits and vegetables as available, or if you're just a really diehard banana person, go for it. Banana's not gonna hurt you. So I hope that answers your question with that. And then the other question was, let's see. He is wondering, because he'll be for the weekend in San Francisco with his family, and he's wondering if he needs to stay away from cooked food altogether. Sometimes, because we talk a lot about the value of raw foods, and there's a lot of raw food recipes on the cleanse, people get confused and they think that it's completely raw that you have to eat, and that is not so. You can actually eat a balance of raw and cooked foods. The foods, really your limitation is no processed foods, no sugars, no caffeine. You are eating more whole foods. You're staying away from most grains with the exception for quinoa, and you're staying away from most breads with the exception of the occasional sprouted Ezekiel bread. But you, by all means, on the recipe list, there are kobacha squash stew, there are greens recipes, so there are different foods that you can have that are cooked that are alkaline, vegetable, plant-based foods. So that's really your limitation. It can be cooked or raw, and ideally you're having a good amount of raw foods in the diet just to help you to keep yourself in balance. And then let's see. he asked about the juicing and the smoothies. Do they have to be made fresh every time you drink them, or can you make them in bulk for, say, 2 to 3 servings over 1 to 2 days? That's also an excellent question, because I know Pablo's schedule is pretty full, and as is most people that are on the cleanse. And so I would say go with what is going to fit best into your life with that. When you're juicing, ideally, you're drinking the juice right away, because it does oxidize. When you close it and seal it in a bottle and store it in your fridge, then you are able to get a lot of the nutrients. You're still gonna, they are still going to be available to you, but it does decrease in potency the more days that it sits in the fridge. Don't let that stop you from juicing in bulk if you need to, and doing your smoothies in bulk if you need to. Because what I like to do is, get a really good jar, fill it up so that there isn't much air in the jar, seal it, and store it in the fridge if that's what you need to do. Because I totally understand juicing and smoothies, it's sort of a habit. I usually recommend people to pick one that they're going to do for the day, and whether it be the smoothies or the juices, because they both require a little bit of preparation. And it is going to take a little bit of time. And so I think it's a good choice, a good option for those with a really busy schedule to do a few days at a time so that you're not having to worry about it. For those of you in LA, I just actually found this incredible juicing place that is on Pico. I can't remember the cross street, but it's called Rejuice. It's near Venice. It's near Venice. It's called Rejuice. It's in LA on Pico Boulevard, and they actually use a Norwalk press, which with the Norwalk press, it's actually the top of the line juicing machine. It's about a $2,500 machine, and they use this machine to juice as opposed to all the other types of juicing, because the juice does not lose any of its oxidation. It does not begin to oxidize, because of the quality of the press. And so there's a whole slew of information online that you can read up about this machine, Norwalk Juicer. It may not be something that you can invest in your home, but they have this store that you can go and buy your juices from. And the benefit to using them as opposed to another juicing method is that you can store it for days without it losing any of its quality. So that would be a really good option if you're out and about and you're in sort of that neck of the woods. You can buy that juice and it can stay potent, 100% potent for a couple of days in your fridge. So again, it's called Rejuice, and they're on Pico Boulevard. And I think he had one more question, and it was about the yogi tea. He wanted to know if that was an important part of the diet. I included a yogi tea recipe in the packet, the info packet, the recipe list that you have. And basically that recipe is just there for your own collection. You never have to make that tea. It's not a part of the cleanse. During the winter months, it's a nice spicy tea that you can use at home, that you can make in bulk and sort of sip on warm. And I had actually some participants in the past ask for the recipe, which is why I included it in there, but it is not necessary, not required at all. So you could also actually buy the yogi tea bags. That's the actual recipe for yogi tea. I happen to be lucky enough to teach at the yoga studio at Yoga West here in LA. The master yogi, Yogi Bhajan, who founded that studio, is the creator and the face behind yogi tea. So that's how I happen to have the recipe. But you can buy the yogi tea brand of what I recommended, the original spice, in any grocery store, any health food store has that box. I think they're like $3 a box, and they're a little tea bag. So that's the simple route. That's the simple way to go if you wanted to do that tea. So, Pablo, I hope I answered most of your questions. Are there any other questions out there floating around?
I have a question. I haven't taken because I thought we were going to take our herbs together.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I haven't taken mine yet. However, I'm hungry.
Well, you weren't supposed to not eat. You were just supposed to start.
No. I had my smoothies, and I did have a banana. And so it's not that I wasn't, that I'm like, this is about my regular, about to eat lunchtime. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I eat during the course of the day. I eat like pretty much all day long. I pack a bag and just snack off of whatever, or eat whatever I have in my bag.
Right.
So I didn't do that as much today. Well, I just carried the banana, and then I had some smoothie left over, so I took that. But I'm like, okay, aren't we supposed to? Isn't there supposed to be a window in between when you eat and when you take the herbs? Or like, if I take the herbs, can I eat right after, or do I have to wait?
Okay,
I need to know that.
Yeah, that's a good question, Heidi. The HO2 tonic can be taken with or without food. So us taking it together does not interfere with your lunch plans for today. But the capsules, the colon therapy capsules, which you take at night, the general recommended dose is 12 capsules of those. For some of you, you'll need to reduce that dose. For others, you'll need to increase. And another thing about dosage is we are starting here together with 4 ounces of the HO2 tonic. But for some of you who might be on medication or have special situations, then you definitely want to reach out to me individually. I've spoken with a few people on the call. We have a couple who's doing the cleanse who are here in Los Angeles as well. And I've spoken with a few of you who have, some special circumstances that you wanted to have considered in your dosage. So be sure to reach out to me if you're on any type of special medication, and we can figure out what works best and coordinate that with your doctor, with your medical doctor. So the other thing, so with the capsules you don't want to take with food or anything nutritionally, anything that has any type of nutritive component to it. So any type of smoothie that you're putting all these good greens and superfoods in, you do not want to take it with the capsules. The capsules is the thing that you want to take 2 hours away from anything nutritive.
Okay.
And
that's where I got the 2 hours from.
That's where you're, yeah. So I know.
I can't read all the stuff.
I can tell you've been reading, Heidi. I appreciate you being reading, because the other reason I know Heidi was reading is because she texted me I think it was yesterday, she sent me a text asking if she can have the instructions on how to juice in her blender. And so I appreciate you sending me that, and I knew you read because you sent that, because I said that in the info. But what I'm going to do is, to the group, I'm going to send out an email today that includes this video for those of us who aren't able to be on the call that are part of the cleanse, because we have about 12 people that are collectively cleansing from all of these different parts of the country. But so in this email, I'll include the instructions on how to juice with your blender, and this video as well to be able to play back. So I hope that answers your question. And the capsules you're taking at night before bed, and that's why. So that way you're sure. Usually, by the time you go to bed, ideally you've eaten at least 2 hours, your dinner 2 hours before going to bed. If you run into a situation, which we all do, where you might have been active or out or at an event or something later, and so you're hungry, you needed to eat a lot later than you normally would, and you can't take your capsules. If you run into that problem, then you just take them in the morning. But the thing is, now you've got to be sensitive when you take them in the morning to when you eat and when you take your tonic. So I've done that before myself. And what I generally will do is I'll set my alarm to wake up a little bit earlier than normal, just so I can take my capsules. I may even go back to sleep. I might wake up at 4 in the morning or something, take my capsules, go back to sleep, and then that way when you get up at 6 or 5 or whatever time you get up, you don't have to worry about, oh my God, I can't eat or I can't drink my smoothie. If you know you're going to be at home for a few hours in the morning, some of us, you get up early, you're walking around the house for a few hours before you have to go out, then you can just take them as soon as you get up, and then know that you're not going to have your smoothie or your breakfast for another 2 hours.
Okay, and I have one more question.
Okay.
Okay, this is my first time ever doing a cleanse of any sort, and should I take the whole 4 ounces at one time? I got one bottle, so that's like half of that bottle, right?
Right. You know what, Heidi? That's a good.
Maybe go for 3 days.
That's a good question, and it's also something I want to address. You can for sure lessen your dose. You can take 3 ounces instead, and like you said, that will probably take you more through the 3 days, because the way that I have the program is if you're doing the 3-day cleanse, you have 1 8-ounce bottle of HO2 tonic, which you're taking 4 ounces per day, which means that on your 3rd day you would just be on the diet and the capsules. But what happens is, so people ask, why are we taking the tonic, on the 3rd day? Well, the herbs are in your system. We're very aggressively putting the herbs in your system. You're taking an accelerated dose of the HO2 tonic. If you were to take this HO2 tonic just as a daily nourisher, just not cleansing, you would take 1 ounce a day. So you're taking 4 times the dose because you're accelerating it into a cleanse. That's what makes it a cleanse, because of how much of it you're consuming at once. And so how you get it in there is totally up to you over the course of those 3 days. You could dial it back and do 2 ounces a day or 3 ounces a day and spread it out so that you're actually taking the tonic through your entire 3 days. But either way it goes, your body is still, if you take the 4 ounces at once, and then you take the second 4 ounces the second day, the 3rd day, the herbs are still in your body working. So up to 3 to 4 days, even a week, after, those liver, iron, and blood herbs are in your body working. So that's one of the reasons why when I have clients that say, hey, I'm going to finish the cleanse 1 day before my big birthday party where I'm going to be having, friends and lots of drinks and alcohol. I'm so excited that I'll cleanse first and then jump into that. And then I say, no, cleanse after. Because the herbs are going to still be working the next day after you stop, and you don't want to be binging on alcohol afterwards. You will be sick. It will cause some not nice cleansing reactions, because your liver, when you're going through these type of cleanses, with this cleanse in particular, you are cleansing your liver, your blood, and your colon. And so your liver, especially if you go over the course of the 9 days, your liver